All right, welcome. We're beginning our puzzle session for tonight. So yes, of course. Hi, YouTube. Yes, if you're in the chat, type it out, although we won't see it on here. Anyway, we have our first puzzle. It looks really simple. I've drawn position, and it is drawn. But the idea here is you're playing as white, and you want to reach one of these squares by force. And it can be deceptively tricky, right? This is a fun one to show your friends as well, because it's very easy to set up. Simple mechanism that you can use to force the white king into one of these squares over here. So, do any of you have an idea for the first move? If you have seen this or something, please don't say it. But there is a strategy that you can use to get this every time. What did you say? Like this. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is not letting me play. Oh my gosh, it's not letting me play. That is really annoying. Okay. Okay. So this move. Then I'll go here as black. I can try making more moves as well, like this. This idea. So this idea of using the king like this. Gets this position where it's white's move. And there is little white can do. That white can't even get there. All right. The idea is if you play over here, this happens. You reach this position where it's white's move here. If it's white's move in this position, white can't make progress. Wherever white moves, black does the same thing. What did you say? I can't hear you very well. Try that as well. What if white goes straight up? Of course, then it depends a lot on black's move is and the important strategy. Let's say black moves here. What now then? It all moves. Yes, that's correct. Right. Right. Yeah, and so that's an idea of this puzzle, which is of opposition. So opposition is a situation where you have two kings, they're close by each other, and in this situation, whoever's side is to move has to give way. So, for example, if it's black's move in this position, black will have to move either here, or just backward. And if white wants to move forward, this is good. Then if black moves here, then the white king gets to black moves here, go back there. And so white can So this is a good idea. If you're white, you want to advance with your king, and the opponent's king is in your way. So going back to the starting position, the correct move here is king h2 from white. The idea being that you've gained the opposition. For those of us joining, the idea here is you're white. You want to get to one of these three squares by force. So we were saying that the correct move is king h2 because it gains the opposition. The idea is there is an odd number of squares between the kings. And that means that the white has the opposition. Meaning if you play a move like this, then black is the side who will eventually need to give way. This position. I don't remember that. Well, in this position, there's nothing black can do if white plays perfect. But in this position, wherever black moves, white is going to move in a position where there's an odd number of squares between the black king and the white king. So if black moves here, white moves here. And if black moves here, white moves here. Here. There's that odd number of squares. Right, yes. Yeah. All right. It's I mean, alignment to yeah. And so king h2. And so you'd eventually play to a position like this. Where it's black to move in this position. It's very important that it's black to move here. Now, if black moves the king back to one of these squares, white just does the same thing and gets closer to this goal. Remember, our goal is to get to one of these three circle squares. So black should either go here or here. And if it goes, and no matter which way it goes, you just go the other way. So you reset, do the same thing until eventually white gets to this square. And if black went this way, then you just do the same thing. And so that's the puzzle. But I think the idea is you want to have an odd number of squares between your king and white's, your king and black's king, and have it be the opponent's move. Because if you can get that to happen, then you can force your way through. So that's the first puzzle. So in this position, you force the king to get to one of these three squares. The other puzzle I have here is one that's based on more on logic rather than on actual skills of finding the best move. So this is a really strange position. It was constructed one. And your idea is not to find the best move. What you want to do is find out whether black can castle. Let's say the castle king side. Castle king side. You have to think about this logically, where you have to think about, okay, what was white's last move, or like what possibilities are there for that, and then given that what was white's or what was black's last move, and so on. Yes. All right, and it's black's move here. Yes, it is. I'll let you look at that for a little bit. Then I'll say the solution in a moment. So, oh yes, right. Yeah, yeah. This wouldn't be played by any sensible human being. Right. Right. Yeah. This is not. The idea is not to increase your chess skills by doing this possible. Right. Yeah. It's not about that. It's about logic and like deductive logic. It's helpful that white has not moved any of his pawns except for this one. That limits the number of possible moves white could have made last turn. Yes, black to move, yes. If you're ready, I'll say the answer. Oh, okay, sure, sure. Uh, Raise your hand if you think that black can castle. Raise your hand if you think black can't castle. That's correct. Black cannot castle in this position. And it's interesting to figure out why. So the first thing you notice that it's black to move, which is very important. Because we can ask ourselves what was white's last move. And it has to be pawn to a3. Because if it were anything else, like if it were a knight move, let's say, the knight would still be on the board. And none of these pieces could have moved because all the pawns are still blocking them. And there are no rooks or knights on the board. I mean, this must have been white's move. So knowing this, what was black's last move? Well, we can say that it was taking a piece, or taking one of the knights in particular. Because since we know that all these pawns were on this rank, white's rooks could not have gotten into the game. Which means that earlier black must have captured those rooks with his knight, or maybe both of them, and then moved back somehow. So we can infer that black's last move was capturing white's knight, one of white's knights. And which piece did capture that? The A8 rook can't be there because then in order to get to A8, the knight would have had to move there from here or here. So that's impossible. Yes. And it couldn't have been a pawn capture because the only pawns that are advanced beyond the first rank are such that it could not have been a capture. Right. Because if this pawn had captured the knight, then it must have started on one of these squares, but this pawn's already there, so that couldn't have happened. So the only pieces remaining on the board that could do the capture, besides the rook here and the pawns, are the white king or the white rook. And those pieces, and if those pieces move, then black can't castle. And so black can't castle. Right. Yeah. I think it's actually black hand castle inside. Right. Yeah. I was looking at here. Castle. Yeah. Yep. And so that's the solution to this chess puzzle. And that's all I have in terms of chess puzzles. I know there are others who have chess puzzles as well from our staff. Ah, officers, you know, drill.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hi. Log out of this today, not share this so no one can see my login information. Oh, that's a good question. Let's check. Oh, I don't think so. It's there. Okay. No, no. Let me see. No. All right. I'm gonna log in. Okay. We're gonna start with one that uh, is a little bit easier than the ones we had from Aiden. Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna start. Oh, I guess we lost some people in the chat. That's okay. We're gonna start. I know I have two chapter fours here. Just ignore that. I can't count. But anyway, as I was saying, we're gonna start with one that hopefully is a little more, I guess, concrete than Aiden. So for those of you who uh, I heard some people wanted to have something that could happen in the game. This is actually from a game between two grandmasters. Grandmasters like all of us here. Like, yeah, except for one of us. And it's this is a puzzle where it's black to move and win. Yep, black to move and win. I see. Huh? Right, let's see what's gonna happen. Well, let me make sure like any doesn't come on. So let me just like do this. Okay, so let's take the pawn. Uh, I mean, I don't know. Like, let's just assume there was nothing before. There's still nothing now. I mean, I don't know. You just take it back something. It's obviously not good. Okay, let's call something better. Yeah, let's see. You're right. Okay. Yep. That's you know, it's over. But this move does win a pawn. But I mean, what now? Sure, let's play bishop d3. I mean, I don't see how this is like necessarily winning for black. You grab the pawn, but like, okay, why not? Queen takes h2. That's an interesting idea. But that just gives me a thing. So, can't slide it over. But we already said the pawn isn't the move. All right. Well, there's no threats here, so that's not a good move. Oh, did you mean here? Oh, apparently it's not possible. I'm kidding. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Check. Awesome. All right. So only move. What now? Awesome. Yeah. It's the end position. Oh yeah, sure. Let's try and flip the board. Okay, so let's watch it again. See, that's the trick. Sometimes you gotta like look at it from different perspectives. So I was testing. Yeah, let's play. And that's grandmasters just can't express it. Okay. But yeah, this is the as you said, not that. This is gonna be checkmate. It takes. Okay, awesome. So now we're gonna move on to something a little bit harder. So the next puzzle, this is one that I actually put inside of puzzles channel, and I never saw an answer for it. So I was wondering if if anyone could figure this out. Yeah, okay, there were answers. None of them were correct. So I realized maybe this puzzle was harder than I thought. It's black to move. So this one is set up. And oh yeah, and chapter one's not actually a puzzle. It just I didn't know how to delete it. So yeah, I showed you this one, so you can't answer it. So black to move and win. Which knight? Which knight? Okay. We can try that. We can try. So check. Oh, that's also like okay. So check. And I guess let's see. What do I play? I can't remember. Uh, I can go. By the way, this is. Let's see. I can't go here. If I go here, let's go here. Yeah. This. By the way, that may or may not be the move. So, all right, we'll take a vote. F4, and then knight, and then we're gonna try knight F5. Oh, sorry, wrong knight. Knight F5. Yeah, so that's a good idea. Well, let's see. What happens after this takes? You could, but then black's not really winning anymore because then you're just down a pawn. Yeah, it's probably a draw, but it's not winning. Yeah, yeah. Let's try and consider the first move. This one to e4. Yeah, this is right. It seems so subtle, like the difference here, but it actually matters. So let's see. So in this case, I'm gonna go here. If I go here, I think this is just checkmate. So, oh yeah, that's true. But okay, let's go here now. What's next? Yeah, we get 4. All right, so now I have 2 options. So I can go back this way or I can go this way. Uh, let's go this way. You can 4th. That's true. What's better than a 4? This is true. This would be a good move. But let's try and play for mate. And actually, even if a 4th here, I think this move works for white because then this works in the attack too. Knight f3. Yeah, exactly. And so now the problem is this king has like nowhere to go. I can't come up here because there's just mate. And can't go this way because the knights. And yeah, so this is a problem. So what we can do is we can start giving checks. Check. Yeah. And let's try check again. So now let's try. I guess, yeah. So we can try here, we can try here. I think the important thing to note is that the reason why there's a difference between where the knights were is because we have to make sure that we're covering the squares around the king. And so if we'd taken the other knight, then this king would be get away. But let's try this move. I mean, yeah, this is okay. This is getting silly. Take and then at this point, I think white can just resign. So yeah, awesome. And so yeah, let's go back a little bit. There was also the option of playing here. I'm just curious. Can anyone kind of see what the move would be? Or sorry, not there. It's the one. Okay. And there. What's the move here? Where's the other variation? Is it on the wrong square? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so it's this position. Yeah, I was testing you guys. Here? It's okay. You're not going. Here, knight f3. I think we're going here. Okay, so it's not that move. There's one other move. Here, rook g4, and that's it. Now the king is completely stuck. So let's say I try this. Okay. Yeah, and then okay, I can just do another check. Oh, you going to do that? Yeah, okay, but at this point, yeah. So what happens if I just make a random move? Yeah. Awesome. So there's nowhere to go. So cool. Yeah, that's a puzzle. So there you go, guys. All right. So yeah, I guess the trick here is you need to kind of try and think ahead and see your mate. But in the next one, I have one more puzzle we're gonna go over, and in this next puzzle, it's kind of about seeing patterns rather than just seeing like force moves. And this one is one where I'm pretty sure if I turn on the engine, it won't see the winning idea for the one side that's winning, which is black in this position. But actually, let's flip the board. I think you guys wanted that. So whoops, anyone? Hopefully no one's on. Okay, so we'll flip the board, and one of you said that you wanted to see a position where, you know, some actual players would play, right? I remember hearing that. Well, how about a match in the World Chess Championship match, the last one between Caruana and Carlsen? This is game 6, and it's black to move and win. Caruana did not find this, but maybe you guys can. So beat Magnus. No, you're gonna be smarter than Magnus and Caruana, I guess actually. So beat Magnus. Yeah, me too. Maybe you don't remember it, and if you do, then oh yeah, it's black to move. I don't know. We're starting 3 minutes. But that was a long time ago. So actually, yeah, we could start in 3 minutes. You want to start this in 3 minutes? No, you want to start now? I'm hearing, yeah, start now. Okay, so I'll give you some time. Bishop h6. Okay. h4, h6, h6. Yeah, I think. I mean, it's not going to be like the quick mate. It's like more about winning the position. So there will be mate if you go far enough, but maybe try and get into a position where black is more winning. So try and win some material with it. But it's a long, more of a step. Knight c6. Knight c6 is a good try. I don't think it works. I'm not really sure why, but I think you can probably try and make it this. But this, yeah, this is not. Take select pawn. This is a pretty good one. This bishop's just going to give itself up. Like whenever you push this pawn, like you push the pawn anywhere, just the bishop's going to give itself up, and it'll be a draw. That's a good thought. I think someone raising him. King 7. That's a good idea. I think that's going to be a bit of an issue because if you go too far, this pawn pushes. Bishop f4. H4. Yeah, so that actually is the first move, and we'll see why in a minute. But I'm just going to go ahead and say this is the move that Caruana played. It's also the engine's top recommendation. If you just don't make any moves, it's going to say, oh yeah, this is the best. They play like an engine, but it wasn't enough. So it didn't see far enough. Like so some engines did see it, but it's a complicated position to play. So I mean, engines can't be all knowing. So sometimes it's hard to. But okay, this is the right move. So now let's see. I'm gonna want to play. Let's see. So this. So now it's black to move, and there's an interesting idea here that you're gonna have to use eventually. But uh, you could have to e7, but again, you could have some problems with this pawn. It's gonna be hard to stop the pawn now. Then just whenever this pawn pushes, this bishop's just gonna take it, just like before. You have all black has to win now is the point. But I mean, a bishop and a knight is enough to win. So that's why the bishop can't ever like the bishop, even if it puts itself up to the pawn, it's not enough in this position. But yeah, if this knight comes off the board, then it's a draw. Or this bishop. Knight e2. So yeah, this is right. This is the right move. It's hard to see why now, and this is probably why I didn't even see it. But you'll see the idea in a minute. So after this move, now what? Knight g3 actually doesn't quite work. It's a good try, but in a position like this bishop has a lot more movement. So maybe it cuts off the king or something. Knight. Oh, before? Yeah. Before, I think we can play. Okay. Yeah, this is also a good try, but I don't think black's winning here either. It's a little too abstract to, like, I guess, show all the lines. Why? I don't remember them all. But this is not going to quite work. But there is another move. These are some good ideas, though. Knight d4. Again, the problem is like just like bishop here. And the king's cut off, so now this pawn's going to push. Knight g1 is actually exactly right. So this is why it was hard to see originally, but here the best move for white is actually this, because it looks like now the knight can't go anywhere, so the bishop's controlling the knight. But in reality, uh, this knight is kind of controlling the bishop, because the problem is what the knight wants to do is get into the game and attack the pawns, but ultimately what black really needs to do is put white into the zone. And for those who don't know what that is, you need to make it white's move where he has no move. That's the entire idea here. And you're kind of doing that with this, because now bishop is stopping the knight from entering the game, but it'll re-enter the game later. So okay, so after this move, what can you do? Like, you want to force white to make some moves. You can move your king. I, e7 again. You have to be a little bit careful because this pawn. If you go to g8, I think this is interesting. I don't think it's white winning. Let's go here. I don't. I don't think it's winning because I'm pretty sure like this knight has nothing to attack. You want to try and like um make white run out of moves. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh no, it is. Sorry, it is king g8. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. No, that was right. That was right. Like I was thinking about it. And I was like, wait a second, you guys might be right. So that's why I went ahead and played the move. Yeah, you're right. It is king g8. Oh, you want to cut off the king. Sorry about that. Like, you don't want the king. Yeah. So king is exactly. Yep. Oh, well, not quite. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, no, it's not. Bishop g5, you'd end up getting the same position because you just repeat. But yeah, if you go here, you can like repeat and go back and forth. So yeah, that's fine. But actually ends up in here. So sorry. But I, yeah. Okay, yeah, again, I'm testing you guys. This is going to be on the exam, by the way, along with chess block questions. So if those of you who weren't here for that, prepare for a failing grade. All right, so now, yeah, I think let's go back. So now the idea is, so what is black play now? Yeah, I mean, you have to defend the pawn, right? Okay, so let's go back. So now what? King of 7. The problem is you're giving white moves. You want to like prevent white from making any moves. So from this position, I'm pretty sure. You could. It depends which square. The square does matter. So give me a square. Okay. So let's try d4. The problem with d4 is white can actually go back. And then you have to stay on the diagonal and defend the pawn. g6. Oh, bishop. Okay. Okay. The idea is you want to try and like force the king to not be able to use these two squares anymore. So how can we do that? Hmm? Yeah, that's right. F4 because you're cutting off the king from this diagonal. So then, yeah, now what? King 5, yeah. So the difference between this position and like this one, like going there in this position, is yeah, you want to cut the king, but also now, like if you went here now and allowed king to go here, then it's white's move. The whole idea is, or then it's black's move. Sorry, the whole idea is you want to get here when it's white's move. So white has no move. Like there's only one move for white. I mean, you can move the bishop, right? But if you move the bishop, then it's annoying. So white has to push a pawn. So after white pushes the pawn, now what do you do? It's already on G8. Yep. So king H8. You want to try and just block the pawn. So when it like reaches this way, for example, there's no moves that white can make. So now white pushes it anyway. There's really nothing else you can do. So now what? King H4, you guys? Sorry, I was thinking. Oh, bishop H4. Yeah, exactly right. And so now what? Now white is white move. So white was here. Now what can you do? Yeah, you can take the pawn. I mean, you can take the pawn, but then like the bishop falls. So the bishop has to move. Okay, and so now white moves again. White goes back and defends the pawn. So now what do you do? Yeah, you can do that. You can go bishop c3. I don't know how you get there. I don't know how you get there. There's no c3 answer. Yes, that's right. Okay, you have to defend the pawn. Exactly. Okay, so the king goes back. D2. And now king goes here. And now what? It's only a couple moves left. Uh, G5? Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. I'll just go here. And now, what can you do? Right, and that's it. Because the problem is now this pawn's gonna drop. And so, okay, the entire idea here was there's a lot of bishop moves. So that's why it was hard. But the whole idea behind the bishop moves are that like you're trying to get it to the same position, but make it white's move. So you're triangulating with the bishop. So usually we see triangulation only with kings, but here it's with the bishop. So you make moves around the board to make it your opponent's turn. It was a lot, but it wasn't. I mean, this pawn pushed, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's the puzzle. And sorry for with it. Anyway, yeah. I think it wasn't that many. Let's see. Oh, how ordered it is. Just 15 minutes. And if you notice, actually, it's kind of funny because, as I said, in the original position, um, okay, well, it's not that big for. In the original position, like the engine actually says that it's only minus 0.9, and I don't know how I can see the suggestion, but yeah, in the original position, the suggestion is different, which is not very neat. Okay, so yeah, that's a difficult study, even for me to keep track of. So that's it. I can go to the last one. What would you guys play in this one? Well, I need to turn off the engine. I don't want you guys seeing. Not letting. Okay. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Okay. So anyone else want to go? Okay. 7:30. We'll go.
Hello, YouTube. White to move and win. Well, if you want to win in this position as white, you have to win with our. You have to win the black bishop. Bishop f5. Okay. Okay. Even I'll go continue one, and then what if I go bishop f3? Check where? 85 wins the bishop, and then bishop h5. Okay. So black can't go there. Let's try. The only place that black can go to is bishop c2, and then whatever. King b2. Bishop h7. Knight f6, right? And then bishop g6. Bishop e6. And then d3 and a4, c5. So bishop e1. Yeah, c1. And then all of the squares that the bishop can move to are again covered. Obviously, if f5 is b2. And again, whatever square the bishop moves to, we have a discovered check. It's pretty simple to start off with. The more difficult part might be winning. Actually, let's not do this. Okay, let's try this one. I hope you didn't see the solution. White to move and win in this position. This one is quite a bit more difficult. And if I take, so much tonight. Okay, well, let me show this first. So the idea is queen d6. If black takes, then we come out. And then queen and you're gonna come out. So black foresees this and plays king d. Queen a7 with the exact same idea. And with king c7. Right? D8 and then if in this position black runs over here, then what do you do? Okay. White to move. This one should be. I got the last one. Let's do this one. Wait to move and draw. Do you want? What do you want? You have to play rotation. Black is going to. Rotation one is correct. I mean, you have to play rotation. Real puzzle steps. So Andrew got the right idea. You play B3 and King A3 to create this line. You're stalemating yourself. So that just one move in time because if the king had been on G3, then you could. You have to come back to the time. This is like a repetition. This one is right to move and draw. Yep, white to move and draw. Unfortunately, here you are because to promote. What was that? Yeah, bishop E2, right? Because well, this is stalemate. And this is stalemate too. So black plays king C2. here I take this check. Yeah, here you take. Um, yeah, King D3 and then after take. A4, C1, A3, King C3. You still made it black. And the important thing is you can't go bishop B2 with the same stalemate idea. Obviously, this is stalemate, but black will promote. So here you have to go King D3. This one is white to move. Rook B8. Let's get the obvious one out of it. So less obvious one, take takes B8. This one is also white to move. When in doubt, just follow the same theme. Yeah, rook A8. And the idea is after takes. F3. So instead of this, black has a few choices. Let's start with yeah, bishop B6. Let's say okay, queen E6. Okay, E5 is and finally queen takes pawn, and then go back to okay. And the difference here is we've taken this pawn. So one more slightly easier one, and I want to white to move. rook d5. So black plays. Oh, sorry. It shows you the move. I don't know why there's an arrow there. Well, rook d4 is the move. And the idea is black can't take either of your rooks. If they take one, then you leave. And if black tries to move one of the rooks to untangle. Okay, let's try some more difficult. This is probably the most difficult one. We can try. Oh, wait to move it. I mean, if you follow the logical ideas, you might find it. Yeah, if white wants to draw, we have to win black spawns. We're going for d4. Black's king is too far away to defend the pawn. Obviously, if knight e6, then we have king d5. Black plays knight f3 to defend. Well, I guess you continue with your long. I have like the answer in our phones. C6 and yeah, okay. This one can be difficult to see from the very beginning, but if you just follow the logical ideas. Yeah. Right to move. E5 is the idea. After E5. So E5 is correct. Knight D6. Knight h6 is actually correct. It can be kind of obvious if I get to this position. Yeah, right. So e5 is important because you have to have black, block themselves off of this h square. And you have to threaten mate by playing knight h6 because you have to threaten the rook as well, otherwise black will. Playing music. We're playing music. Okay, 22. Wow. I really give you guys all the answers with my annotation. This one is white to move and draw. What is? I don't know what that was. Okay. I don't know why. I think there's like an annotation that was like this. Smart, sorry. Nice. The key is you aren't going to catch the pawn. Right? Here, black's only move is to. And it's the same thing if black promoted to a rook. And if black under promoted to something other than a rook. This annotation is actually not useful. This one is white to move. Okay, when you played here, I don't. Use it. It might still be winning. I don't exactly know what black is going to do. Just play f6 and you can still play the winning move, but you don't have to play this. Yeah, you just play. Oh wait, you might have to play this. D7 and this is the yeah, you might yeah, D6. So the takes and this is otherwise the queen is stuck, black is the pawn. Black sees all of this and afterwards it's yeah, maybe. One more very difficult one. Actually, we can do this one. This one is white to move and draw. Yeah, what's the idea behind it? Yeah, this would be amazing. And then we need more. Yeah, I think there should be 8. So the only way black can prevent mate is bishop c8. Here, black. This black is winning. Oh, queen. Bishop where? Where? One and after. So black plays king f3. So black has to take on f4. Black is so this entire way, this diagonal is controlled by the bishop. This square behind controlled by this bishop. And black can never go into this diagonal because of the skewer. So black had to move along this diagonal. Either it will be a perpetual or let's do one. Okay. This one is the most difficult one. White to move and draw. Okay, well, knight d3 is an answer. Well, if bishop f2. Well, bishop f2 takes. I'm very good at giving away. So bishop f2 and then takes. The key move. Yeah, what a lot of people try here at first is knight d3 track. The reason why this doesn't work is because after bishop a5, you have to play knight f1 here. Notice this in the chart, right? So black doesn't have to take the knight on c. So yeah, knight e3. Here, white is actually I mean, those are all the studies I have.